Do you want to talk about these turtles?
I saw the film, the Turtle Mutant Mayhem, written by perpetual teenager Seth Rogen.
I'm basically a perpetual teenager. You know what? He voiced Bebop in it, and I actually thought he was the most out of place voice in the whole thing. I was like,
yeah, I didn't really like his voice. Actually, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was.
Yeah, no, I thought the movie was really cool. It's like the things that were unique about it was a wall to wall comedy. So they were committed to like it's going to be a comedy, which I don't think you can really say for any of the other Turtles movies. I mean, maybe Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. And then, yeah, they went all in on the awkward teen thing. I actually genuinely really liked the decision. They took a lot of license with April, and they made her. I mean, it's high school, yeah, but it almost felt more like middle school, and I was cool with that. And so she was almost like a middle schooler with them. It's like boys meeting girls for the first time, and yeah, we're just friends, but maybe there's more. But I'm weird. I'm a mutant.
Yeah.
That all worked, I thought.
Yeah, I thought it worked to like age her down to be within their same teenage years, and. Yeah, I thought the turtles were all very distinct in interesting ways. Like Raph being more of like a bruiser, kind of person, and Donnie being more like the shrill kind of guy. And
I don't think we've ever seen a more like in every Turtles movie I can think of. They always choose a main character turtle because you can't really have 4 main characters unless you structure the movie that way, and that's hard. It would be a cool thing to do if they ever wanted to like make a Turtles movie that stood apart from the rest. But you have to pick your main character. And, in the first one, it was Raph. And in the third one, it's Mikey. The Turtles in Time one there. But in some ways, I think the second one's kind of Donatello. But this one was definitely Leo. Leo is the one he's the one who's coming of age more than the others.
And he in the beginning, he rats them out for doing different things, and it's because he confesses to Splinter. Splinter is more of a dad character, which is interesting.
Yeah, they kind of focused him as all right, so who is Splinter really? Because most depictions he's like a sensei, and he's kind of wise. He's more like a Yoda. And this one, they're like, well, most of the drama, most of the story is going to come from the fact that the turtles are unaccepted and can't go live amongst real people, and that's in every turtle story. But what makes this one unique is that it really plays up their adolescence. And so that's, if you're completely not accepted as an adolescent, that's a distinct idea. And so then if your dad is part of stifling you, and it's because your dad has all these insecurities and your dad doesn't trust the world, he's kind of like a fundamentalist, kind of like religious guy who's like, you can't, one of my favorite scenes was like, boys, I know you want to go live on the human world, so I give you a human world right here in the sewer. I am a human restaurant. I will serve you any food you want, except it has to be pizza.
The really cardboard funny cutouts of the Chris's, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the best Chris. And then there's one shot that I loved. I don't even know how thoughtful they were about this, but the turtles, they look kind of skinny, the way that teenagers are skinny, and they kind of shuffle off. They just have no clue what to tell their dad, who just embarrassed them, and they all in a straight line shuffle off down the sewer away from him. And I was like, that is so teen,
Yeah. And then they justify, Splinter's fear. It's a justified fear what he's talking about, and it's kind of overcompensating that. And I thought it was really interesting. I thought for a kids movie, it's good
runtime, 95 minutes or something. I can actually watch it.
Didn't waste my time, yeah, and and I like Ice Cube's Superfly there.
Yeah,
it's just like that. I love that kind of chaotic where he could be really friendly to you, but just blow up on you at any moment. And that
y'all were expecting Godzilla? Nah.
Y'all thought it was gonna be Godzilla? Nah.
Yeah, it's like my foot is horses.
I didn't need that horse.
What the hell? That's it? One little horse. I don't need that horse.
It genuinely made me laugh. And you know what? The needle drops, I thought, from Feel the Rain on Your Skin. When
you didn't.
I did.
Feel the rain on your skin.
I said, hey, what's going on? Or Push It to the Limit. I heard, so yeah, it bombed. I mean, it made $137 million. That was it. I guess they, like, if they had made a live action version of this, do you think it would have done okay? Or do you think it's the animation that's the barrier for people? Or they just sick of this shit?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if like maybe Barbie took a lot of its thunder and people were just more focused on that. Because I didn't even realize it came out. I don't know if it was just poorly marketed. It seemed to come out of nowhere and then leave quickly.
Did you ever see the 2007 TMNT movie?
No.
That's I should revisit that movie someday because of all the TMNT projects, it's probably the one that's most comparable to this one, where it's like a standalone, unique animation style, unique set, director, not necessarily trying to be part of a franchise. There's no Shredder, so that sets it apart. That one technically is that's kind of meant to be Ninja Turtles 4. It's meant to be a sequel to the previous three.
I heard it was sort of in that same canon.
Yeah, but it doesn't really fulfill that. But that one is pretty like deeply dramatic for an animated children's movie. Like there's a scene where Leo and Raph come to blows and they fucking hate each other in that scene. And of course there's the Ubisoft GBA beat 'em up based on that movie. That's actually pretty good. I do think that the turtle characters got a little bit lost in the story when the mutants came in. They got I was really tracking with the turtles until it gets a little bit busy.
Too much Mutant Mayhem in this Mutant Mayhem movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it worked, but it also felt a little bit like they just really wanted to have a lot of mutants, and that was the only reason they were doing it. But of course, Paul Rudd's Mondo Gecko is very funny. They could have a Mondo Gecko spin-off probably, and it would work.
Oh, I'm sure.
Hey, what's up, bros? Come on, I'm a hugger. Get in here. Get in.
That one seems cool.
I like your vibe.
I like your vibe.
I like your vibe.
I like your vibe.
I think they are going to spin this off into a TV show or something.
Oh, that's great.
I think they had like some sort of toy deal or brand deal where they have to make a certain amount of stuff. So I think even though this movie bombed, I think there's going to be more stuff coming out.
They made a Shrek joke and they made a Batman voice joke, both of which were also made in the Michael Bay movie.
Give me the camera. Oh, look, he's doing his Batman voice. Go, Gert. Go.
Okay, Batman.
They look more like little Shreks to me.
I actually didn't see the Michael Bay movies either. This is the first turtle content I have seen since the ancient Japan one.
Wow. I like that ancient Japan one. Nobody else does, but I like it.
Hey, you were expecting maybe the Addams Family?
I heard that one of the things that made it work was the four boys who starred as the turtles. They recorded simultaneously, so they would improvise a bit off of each other and stuff. So the scenes where they're kind of like interrupting each other, they're being rude to it. They're like riffing on one another. That was because they all got in the booth together. They didn't record in isolation. I think that was really like a key to the success of the.
Yeah, there's good energy between them all.
Yo, let me get that bacon.
There was a few years back, Max Landis did a pitch of his version of a TMNT movie. Max Landis, for whatever controversies he's been embattled with, as a movie script pitcher, he always had a lot of talent, a lot of energy, and he did this corny thing like it was like on a webcam in his bedroom or something, but he played that song Save Rock and Roll, and he's like playing it in the background and timing it to like this third act of all these things falling into place for the four turtles, and like it brings a tear to your eye. You're like, I can like really imagine that movie.
And all of the Foot Clan start to bow to him. They're presenting him with the Foot Clan sword. He looks up at the guy, and the guy gives him a Shaolin blessing. Meanwhile, Raphael running through the city.
Yeah, I still think there's fertile ground for the Ninja Turtles. There's things to be done with these characters.
And I like that it was a unique take. I know there's a lot of people who are like, oh, this is like Splinter should be a sensei. And they like people really like that archetype. And, you know, it's fun and we've done it. But I like that they did something new. I like in the art style I thought was fun because it was a little bit messy. It wasn't quite Spider-Verse, but it was just more, like sloppy. goofy, which I liked, and loose.
Yeah. Well, when you're doing your own take on something, you get to take a lot of liberty because it's standalone. It's not, you're not needing to connect it to a broader story, for one thing. And two, like, I thought that every decision that they made, including the liberties taken, like April's age and Splinter's character, even how they learned ninja, to Superfly instead of Baxter Stockman, you know, all that stuff, I thought it all served the vision of the movie, which was as a comedy about teens. Yeah. And so, like, everything I thought more or less complemented that that vision that they had for the movie. So, like, you could dislike this movie for that decision to make a movie like that, but I don't think you can poke too many holes in the decisions it made to that end.
I recommend it if you, want something funny. Watch it with your kids.
Yeah, I definitely recommend. Gloria saw it 3 times. She loved it every time.
Oh, actually, quickly, I saw The Flash.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved it. I thought it was great.
You loved it. Wow.
I mean, it's not like my favorite movie. Like, I think Guardians was better, like way better.
Yeah.
But I liked it. It was very entertaining. And I don't like, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but I don't have the revulsion when I see Ezra Miller, like, and his stick. I don't know what it is. Especially because there's the more mature Ezra Miller or Barry or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I don't know, it kind of worked for me because the other one's supposed to be dumber. He's supposed to be coddled by his mother and stuff like that. And I don't know, it worked for me. And I liked seeing Michael Keaton back as Batman. It didn't really feel like the 1989 Batman really, or even like an evolution of it. But it was just nice seeing him do that character again.
It wasn't a half bad Batman.
No, it wasn't. It was And I like the concept of, trying to save this doomed timeline that he created, and it thematically worked with him letting go of his mom. Although, like, I don't really care for the George Clooney gag at the end.
Wasn't that a James Gunn edition?
Was it?
I heard that it was.
I feel like it could have just.
What do you think of Nick Cage?
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a peek on what could have been.
Yeah, I would watch that movie again. It really, Ezra for me is the hurdle though. Specifically his derpy younger self. It was just very hard.
The one scene that we've talked about I really didn't like was when he goes to the apartment and there's those roommates there for some reason. They have like a discussion about Back to the Future, and he's got an Eric Stoltz tattoo. Like, I haven't really seen that joke before, but it felt like a tired joke. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like, it's like a joke that is obvious.
Yeah, it was like dead before it was invented.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it could have been easily cut and you would have lost nothing. But yeah, I enjoyed it. But
yeah, I think calling it, like when James Gunn called it one of the best superhero films ever made, that's taken it a bit far. But it's like, if this had come out in 2018 or something, you'd be pretty excited about it, like alongside all the other superhero stuff that was coming out at the time.
Yeah. So I was entertained at least. It was. I didn't hate my experience.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.